Welcome to the next Equipping Parents workshop. My name is Sarah Spicer and I am an art teacher in Wayland Union Schools. I teach at Baker Elementary and Stevie Elementary. So mostly I'm focusing on those early childhood art needs. And I'm excited to spend a little time talking with you about creativity and learning. Now more than ever, I feel that it's super important to keep instilling the creativity juices in our students and kids. Kids are on technology a lot more than they used to be, and sometimes they just forget or don't really know how to be creative and do things on their own. Hopefully, you've received the book, The Dot. So, I would like to start with explaining why I chose this book to share with you. This book is about a little girl named Vashti, and I like to start every school year in art with this story because she goes to art class and she sits with a blank paper, and the teacher comes up and says, maybe it's a polar bear in a snowstorm. And she kind of laughs it off. But basically, she doesn't feel that she's able to create or that she's going to do it right. And the teacher asks her just to make a mark. And then she asks her to sign it. And sure enough, the next time Vashti comes back to her art room, the teacher had framed in a swirly gold frame her piece, her dot. And that just boosted Vashti's self-confidence more than you would ever imagine. And that's kind of what I want to talk about with you today, is how we can instill that creativity and boost our kids' confidence to make them feel that they can do artwork and that they are creative and they can create anything that they want. So, okay, so I know you didn't want to just see a PowerPoint presentation the whole time, so I thought I would catch myself on screen a little bit for you. So, today I'm just going to go through a few different ideas, tips, and just show you how easy it is to instill that creativity at home. I know myself as a kid on Friday nights, I remember watching TGIF Friday, laying on the living room floor with all my colored pencils and markers and just creating and coloring and spending time doing that. And unfortunately now most houses don't look that way. You've got a lot of people staring at their devices. The kids have come to my art room and they've never used watercolors before, or I know you can't believe everything kids say, but like my mom doesn't let me use scissors at home, or I can't get the glue out because it's too messy. So I know art can sometimes seem like it's a lot of work and it's more difficult than it needs to be, but if we start our kids right off creating, using the supplies, and teaching them how to do it, trust me, it's going to be worth it in the long run. Wouldn't you much rather say to your kid, why don't you go sit and color a picture or create something with the scrap paper instead of them sitting on their tablet for the next half an hour? So I know that's how I feel at my house. I have 3 young kids, a first grader, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I love that my 2-year-old wants to be right up at the table, coloring and doing all the same things. Does she eat the crayons? Yes, but we can move past that. So before I get into too many things, I have my kind of 4 little tips of how we can make this possible at home to fuel that creativity. So number 1 is to definitely provide. We have to have the supplies and the things there. These do not need to be the top of the line. Having some colored pencils, different thick markers, skinny markers, getting that watercolor set when it's on sale at the beginning of school. Even if you can find some oil pastels or different scissors that they can cut with, and the paints. Having the supplies helps it be more exciting to do those types of things at home. And I want you to encourage, just like in the story, all that teacher needed to do was to frame that one piece of artwork. It wasn't a great piece of artwork, but she framed it anyway, and that boosted that child's self-confidence. So think about that when your kid's bringing home their artwork or their schoolwork. Trust me, I do not keep everything that my son brings home from first grade, but he definitely doesn't see me recycle it. It would crush him. So make a space in your house, in their bedroom, in the playroom, somewhere where it's not maybe cluttering up your space, and hang up a few things each month. Eventually, if they get into the recycling, it's no big deal, but don't let your child see that. So we want to encourage them. And we also can encourage them by modeling and participating with them. So I can hear it now. I'm not an artist. I don't know how to draw. I can't do it. But if you're sitting at the table doing it with them, or you start out that way, get them rolling, and then you can have time to do those dishes or things because they're creating and doing their thing. So we got to model. We got to help them out. I model every single project I do here in art. They can't, if I say, go ahead and draw yourself, kids don't know how. We don't ask them to sit down with a book right when they get into preschool and say, read it. We've modeled. We've read alongside them since the day that they were born. You were reading books to your child. Do the same thing with art. Draw with simple shapes. Draw your family together. Model how you would color or do the barn scene that you're going to do. And then most important is participate with them when and if you can. So I'm going to go through a couple things of how I encourage and teach art here at school to give you a little bit of ease and to see that it's really not that tricky. So my kids love to read. I love to read. So I incorporate a lot of books into my artwork, and that's where I get a lot of my ideas. So simply by reading a story, this is Hoot and Hawk Just Can't Sleep. It's about a goose and an owl. So after reading it, then we could draw owls together, just like we did here at school. So you think, I can't do an owl. Look at how awesome this owl is that a kindergartner did with me yesterday. This took us 25 minutes. We read the book. We did it together. I talked simple shapes, make a big U, and we do the triangles on top, the big circles, and we have this beautiful masterpiece. And boy, were these kindergartners proud. They could not believe it. Same thing with like drawing themselves. Right in the beginning, the first day of preschool or daycare or kindergarten, that teacher says, okay, draw me a picture of yourself. And I think back, have we really ever sat down and taught our kids how to draw a person? We just say, oh, go color, go do this. That's where the modeling comes in. We have to teach them. We have a whole Map Man song that we do here at school. It's got simple shapes. The simple shapes, the simpler, the better. And once you get the kids working on it and doing it, they will keep practicing and keep practicing. After I did these owls the next time, I practiced owls all week long, Mrs. Spicer. They are so proud, and just boosting that self-confidence just gets me so excited. So the simple shapes. Yes, of course we want them to look more realistic like this, but if they are drawing a circle of body, legs, and feet, that is awesome. And again, look at this. By just talking about the shapes and how to do it, these things turn out adorable. So, like I said, I read so many books, and then that can give you ideas. Pete the Cat, this one was about cupcakes. Now this is mine, of course, but the kids turned out just as well. Sitting down, taking 10 minutes after a story to draw about it or create with it. And it doesn't only have to be drawing. You can get the paints out and watching them try to mix the colors and seeing what they come up with. The first day I give them paint and they can mix the colors how they want, you should hear the conversations and everything. So ultimately, I just want you to think about ways at home that we can fuel this creativity. We can, if we're playing outside, let's collect some things and see what we can create with them. In the house, if you have if you're cleaning out a cupboard and you have a whole bunch of junk, before you throw it away, let's see what 3D sculpture we can make with this. And try to get our kids' hands on tangible items where they're building and molding and playing with that Play-Doh and getting the clay, and let them get dirty with the paint. It's going to boost their confidence, make them feel so good, just being able to create and do things like that. So I just want to encourage you as a family, maybe take a little bit of time each week and do some art or do a project, and let's try to get our kids back to sitting at the table and coloring instead of a quick, let's go sit on our tablet for a while. So I know it's hard and tablets aren't an easy fix. and I didn't mean to make this about technology, but I just want our kids to be able to know that they are worth it. We want to build that growth mindset. It's not, I can't draw a cow. I can draw a cow. Look at these simple shapes. You can do it. Oh, my thing didn't follow me. Come on over here. Sorry. There we go. You can do it. Sometimes I use my daughter's board books. They have the simplest drawings, and it gives me ideas of an easy way to do it. Look at these monsters. We talked about doing different lines, and the kids painted it, and you glue some shapes on it, and you have some monsters. So take a little bit of time at home, get your hands dirty, get into the paint, get into the crayons, and see if we can encourage our kids to be more creative using their own ideas. Thanks for coming.